Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So guys, I've made videos already about how female police officers are useless. Female firefighters useless, right? And now guys, we're going to check out why I believe female corrections officers are absolutely useless. Guys, why? Why do you need women to be working in prisons, especially men's prisons? Women's prisons, fine. But men's prisons, why? Why? So guys, I have a couple of examples of this foolishness. We're going to get into this, but before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment, because it really helps keep this channel going. If you're watching on YouTube, please check out my second channel linked in the description, guys, and check the playlist out at the end. If you're watching on Crumble, please head over to my YouTube, guys, and let's get into this.
A scathing federal indictment alleges a group of corrupt corrections officers and gang members inside the Baltimore City Detention Center smuggled in drugs and cell phones. That indictment names 25 people. I-Team lead investigative reporter Jane Miller is live at the federal courthouse downtown. And Jane, the details of this story sound like something out of a movie.
And of course, it's in Baltimore, right, guys?
Doubt about it, Donna. Call it sex, drugs, and wiretaps, all involved in this case, which shows a system with few controls. Female officers having sex with prison inmates.
Look at that.
Prison officials willing to look the other way. Taxpayers pay the state to run the city's jails, but the federal indictment issued today reveals the extent to which the bad guys were in control. Inmate Tavon White, a leader of the Black Gorilla family gang, was heard on a wiretap in January staking his claim. "This is my jail," he said. "I'm dead serious. I make every final call in this jail. Everything come to me. I am the law. My word is the law."
Look at that. He's straight up Judge Dredd in there, dude. I am the law, right?
White claims to make a nice profit, according to the indictment, selling smuggled drugs and phones. "My profit was $15,800 and something, or $16,800, $16,400
in a
something.
month.
That ain't bad for a whole month."
This case is insidious. This case is extremely serious.
13 female corrections officers are accused of smuggling banned items into the jails in return for money and sex.
Look at that. 13! 13 female officers got caught up, dude, banging and clanging Pookie and Nug, dude. Look at that. Letting prison Pookie shoot up the club.
Corrections officer Kimberly Dennis on a wiretap. "There are some things I need to get done. My goal for this week is $2,000. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I'm going to make it happen."
We need to be able to rely on people who are in law enforcement and associated with law enforcement to make sure that they're on our side and not the criminal side.
Not if
And
they're
that's
304s.
the most significant thing I think this case exposed.
Sex was so prevalent inside the jails that BGF leader Tavon White fathered children with 4 different female officers.
4 different female officers. Look at that, dude. Prison Pookie shooting up the club.
2 had his name tattooed on their bodies.
Look at
Corrections
that.
officer Jennifer Owens was heard to say, "I understand you're stressed out because you're locked up, but I am too. You locked up and I'm pregnant again. Who does that?" Officers could be fired for associating with inmates, but
Who does that? She's blaming him. You shouldn't have slept with him in the first place.
the women in this case are still employed. Were these women
And they
fired?
still...
Pardon?
Were these women fired? The ones who are...
No.
They're in your institution.
They still have jobs, guys. Look at that.
Having sex with the inmates.
Right.
Were they fired?
No.
Public Safety Secretary Gary Maynard says he takes full responsibility for what this case has uncovered. He struggled today to spell out any significant changes that have taken place. He called the case an embarrassment.
Look at
Reporting
that,
live
guys.
tonight from the federal court. I'm
Now,
Jane.
guys, look. I have the article here. Look at this. FBI, the incarcerated gang leader had 5 kids with 4 guards. Look at that, guys. I'm going to post a link to this article in the description, guys. But this lines out the whole thing, guys. Look at this. He's making $16,000 a month. Now, guys, all I could find for the end of this case is I believe one of the female officers did jail time. So guys, let's just head on over and check out that video.
42 months. That's how long the first defendant sentenced in the Baltimore City Detention Center scandal will spend in prison. ABC 2 News' Josie Sturman is here now with some of the details on the case. Josie?
Kelly, 25-year-old Adrena Rice was a correctional officer at BCDC, but now instead of patrolling as a guard, she'll be spending nearly 4 years in prison as a guest. Rice is the first of 9 correctional officers to plead guilty in this case and get sentenced in the jailhouse scandal. She pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy, admitting she smuggled pot and prescription pills into the jail for members of the Black Guerrilla Family, or BGF, gang. Now, those drugs were brought in on behalf of gang leader Tavon White, who has also pleaded guilty in this case, along with 3 other inmates at BCDC. Once Adrena Rice gets out of prison, she will also have 2 years of supervised release. Her arrest and that plea deal come as part of a massive takedown after an investigation by the Maryland Prison Task Force. Sentencing for all the others is to come. Josie Sturman, ABC 2 News.
Now, guys, 4 years, you know what? I can give that a round of applause. Because I thought that she'd only get probation, right? But she got 4 years, okay? And guys, we all know the whole, the worst part about the whole thing, right? Because her baby daddy's in jail, so.
You didn't have second thoughts. Now you're single mom. Now you're single mom.
Hey guys, we'll look at one more video because it turns out that during the trial of the gang member dude, was it Trevin White? They identified other people. Let's check this
off tonight with one of our city's biggest trials in recent memory.
That's right. We got 2 inmates, 5 correctional officers, and another state employee charged in connection with the scandal in which the Black Guerrilla Family street gang took over the Baltimore City Detention Center.
ABC 2 News' Christian Schaefer has that story from the newsroom tonight.
Yeah, well, Jamie and Kelly, opening statements came today in federal court in Baltimore. Tavon White, the Bushman, or leader of the Black Guerrilla Family inside the Baltimore City Detention Center, will be the government's key witness in this case against those 8 defendants.
Oh, look at that, guys. He's the witness against them all. He's snitching. Look at that. I guess there truly is no honor among thieves, man.
Prosecutors say members of the Black Guerrilla Family street gang used sex and money to co-opt correctional officers, convincing them to smuggle drugs and cell phones into the Baltimore City Detention Center. In all, investigators charged 17 inmates and 27 correctional officers in connection with the scandal.
17 inmates and 27 officers, guys. Look at that. Man.
Most have taken plea deals. The trial that started today is for the 8 who did not. 2 inmates, 5 correctional officers, and a jail kitchen worker.
There were things that went on where you'd scratch your head a little bit and say, this doesn't seem to add up. You just saw a lot of lax treatment of some of the prisoners.
Attorney Tom Moronic is not involved in the trial, but he's represented dozens of clients who spent time inside BCDC.
The rumor was that Tavon White and the Black Guerrilla Family were sort of running the jail in some capacity.
He wasn't surprised when the scandal broke, but shocked by how deep the corruption ran. BGF leader Tavon White fathered 5 children with 4 separate correctional officers.
Just shooting up the club, left and right.
To find out it was as bad as it was, that women had his name tattooed on them, that he had children with these women, it was just really the inmates running the asylum.
Now, White will be the star witness for the prosecution. In return, he'll get 12 years on the federal charges, but he's already serving 20 on state charges. And the sentences will run concurrently, so the deal in federal court won't add any more time behind bars. Meanwhile, there have been changes inside the ball.
So homeboy was shooting up the club, knocks up these chicks, and then testifies against them, guys.
City boy! City boy!
Baltimore City Detention Center, a system for detecting cell phones has been added. There are more frequent and stricter searches of the cells where the inmates live, and a system with more than 200 high-definition cameras has been added.
When you look around carefully, you see it. The cameras are the big thing. And the cameras are sort of like a casino. They're the eye in the sky. They're there to monitor the employees, not per se the inmates as much.
Now, attorneys for those defendants are saying that Tavon White can be expected to lie about their clients if it's in his best interest. That trial is expected to take 2 months, and we'll have much more on the changes that have taken place inside BCDC in the past 18 months on our website, abc2news.com. Live the news.
How are they gonna unmake the kids? They're already there, right? Now, guys, next we're gonna go to a case of a chick who's pregnant, who wanted to work in a prison. Clown work.
Sarah Kugel loved her job at the California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi, 40 miles southeast of Bakersfield. But when she found out she was pregnant, everything changed.
When I was first hired on, there was a policy in place. There were accommodations.
Prior to 2015, the California Department of Corrections had a policy that allowed pregnant staff who worked inside state prisons to move to safer positions. But when Kugel told her superiors that she was pregnant at the end of 2016, she was told she could either continue working in her current role or wasn't fit for duty.
Now, guys, let's pump the brakes here. Why would they let a pregnant chick work in a prison? In any capacity whatsoever. Absolutely insane. Why? Why?
Not wanting to accept a demotion resulting in less pay and a loss of benefits, Kugel stayed on.
At 7 months pregnant, I was running to an incident, fell, and later lost my child to a...
Whoa! 7 months pregnant, in the jail, running to an incident, slipped, fell, injured herself, and lost the baby. Look at that.
Central abruption from that fall, from that trauma. Had CDCR not changed their policy and had allowed reasonable accommodation, this never would have happened.
Or you could have just not worked in a prison.
Kugel settled with the California Department of Corrections for $1.7 million. She isn't the only female employee who has accused CDCR of discrimination. Nearly 300 women, many of whom still work for CDCR, are part of a civil lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court that accuses the agency of denying them reasonable accommodation during their pregnancies.
It's not safe to have us working the line as a pregnant officer because I cannot
It's not safe to have you working in the prison, period, as a pregnant woman or as a woman at all. Guys, am I taking crazy pills here? Is it just me? Like, what is going on?
Bond in the same way that I would not pregnant. But the problem is there are positions, say the front entrance or a tower or a sally port, that is completely away from inmates. And those positions have to be filled anyways. But instead of placing us in those positions, they gave us the option like, hey, come to work and do your job. Or stay home.
Angela Powell has worked at the California Medical Facility in Vacaville for almost 10 years.
So in other words, they got treated like men, right, guys? And guys, this is when we tell these 304s, you don't want equality, you want special treatment. And of course, they say, how dare you? Right?
In 2017, she was forced to go on early disability because she says CDCR wouldn't move her to a safer role. She joined the civil suit because she says she wants to regain what she lost.
You work in a housing unit with hundreds of inmates that are murderers, rapists, child molesters. They don't care about you. And
so as a woman, guys, why are you there? Why are you there, pregnant or not? You are the most vulnerable person there.
You are expected to do all of the job duties as
like a man,
non-pregnant person. Even when you're pregnant, because I had to.
That's how you know that this is California, right? A non-pregnant person, please.
Go out on early maternity leave. I lost half of my wages during that time. I lost seniority. I lost retirement. I lost my hours. You gain sick and vacation leave.
Leah McCowan has worked at CMF Vacaville.
Now, did you notice this other chick here? Guys, you just see pictures of her kids, but do you see a husband anywhere? Right? Guys, we all know what that means.
You didn't have second thoughts. Now you're single mom. Now you're single mom.
She says she's been injured. McCowan has worked at CMF Vacaville since 2007. She says she's been injured numerous times, including during an emergency cell extraction, which is a routine occurrence for prison guards.
So why are you
They're faced
working
with
there?
Inmates who don't want to comply, often kicking, hitting, punching, headbutting guards as they're dragged out of their cells.
You mean aggressive, violent men in prison are capable of hurting women? You don't say!
Another routine occurrence for correctional officers, gassings, which is when bodily fluids, including urine, feces, blood, semen, and saliva, are thrown at them.
Disgusting.
When McCowan returned to work just a few weeks after she gave birth, she was shocked by the lack of empathy from her bosses.
I actually said to the lieutenant at the time, I just had a baby. This is kind of just how it is for me right now. I have to be out for the baby, but also for myself. And he said, well, my wife had a baby and she went right back to work.
There you go. And he's right. This is what they fought for, guys. Isn't this funny, guys? Right? This chick's probably one of those
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
chicks until all of a sudden, oh my God, I have a baby. And life is so hard. So everyone has to treat me special. You can't have it both ways.
And I was just like, okay, but she doesn't work in a prison. So how is that even comparable?
Attorney Arnold Peter represented Sarah Kugel and now represents all the plaintiffs in the civil suit, which was brought in 2019 and in 2020. The policy which denied pregnant women reasonable accommodation was changed back. The statute of limitations in this case expires in March of next year. And although Arnold Peter, the lawyer for the plaintiffs, has tried to settle with CDCR, he believes they're headed to trial seeking damages in excess of $100 million.
It's absolutely outrageous that one of the most progressive states in the union, very, very progressive administration, that they had to make a choice between having a child or keeping their job.
That's not true. That's not true. California was being progressive and treating these women like they are men. They said, no, we're not going to give you special treatment because you are a woman, right? And it blew up in their face. This is what they asked for, right? And now they're trying to sue, right? And say, oh my gosh, we've been discriminated against. Because once again, they don't want equality. They want preferential treatment.
It's an untenable choice that they had to make, and no man or woman should ever be put in that position.
Please.
In a statement, CDCR said they cannot comment on ongoing litigation.
Of course not.
Women in the civil suit have sent letters to California Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta asking them to intervene. The governor's office told Eyewitness News CDCR is best positioned to respond on behalf of the governor. But the California Civil Rights Department, a state agency charged with protecting residents from discrimination, has also brought a separate lawsuit against CDCR for the same 2015 policy, which is being heard by the same judge as a civil suit.
Governor Newsom's administration has led the nation in protecting the rights of working women, especially those who risk their lives for us on a daily basis. And what we have is a surprising clash between two departments reporting directly to the governor.
As for Sarah Kugel, who now lives in Arkansas with her husband and 3.5-year-old, it's difficult for her to hear how many other female correctional officers suffered from that same policy.
That little baby would be 6 years old. It's heartbreaking. You know, I see other...
But you had to be some strong and independent chick, right? Trying to work in a corrections facility. Why? You know what I mean? She slipped and fell and hurt herself, right? Why are women working in men's prisons? Why?
Children running around that are about her age, and it's a constant reminder of what I lost.
In Los Angeles, Josh Haskell, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Hello, I'm...
Look at that, guys. Guys, like I said, female firefighters, useless. Female police officers, useless. Female COs, useless. All All right, you guys, AJ, I appreciate you guys. Check out the playlist, man. At the end, if you're on Crumble, guys, check out my YouTube. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one.